More talking by the prospect equals more sales for the salesperson. So here's 6 tips on how you can get the prospect talking. Tip number 1, the more the prospect talks, the more money you make. So it's critical to have an open-ended question that gets the ball rolling, right, with the prospect. So think about that. Don't ask questions that could have a one-word response like yes or no. Ask a question that requires the prospect to speak. One of the best ways I used to like to do this was starting the question with, tell me about fill in the blank. When you say tell me about, it tells them they need to explain, right? They need to give you more than a one-word answer. A lot of times when I'm talking to a prospect, it's in the B2B world, so my question is always, tell me about your business. Pause. It's critical to pause after asking an open-ended question. Give them time to think, right? Even if it's awkward and it takes 2 or 3 seconds for them to respond or longer, just wait and then they will spill the beans, right? So think about in your sales process, what are the best open-ended questions you can ask that'll result in more talking by the prospect and more sales on your commissions. Tip number 2, shut up in the sales process. Shut up. The more the prospect talks, the more money you make. The more you talk, the less money you make. You want the prospect to talk. So ask open-ended questions and get the prospect talking and keep them talking. Sprinkle questions in there to keep them rolling with the talking. They'll basically sell themselves. And then at the end, all you have to do is say, yes, we can help you with that. And the sale is done. It's the easiest sales pitch ever. The more that you're talking and pitching, the less money that you're making. Tip number 3. Stop interrupting the prospect. Let them talk. Don't cut them off. As salespeople, we often just hear something said and we want to cut our way in there and make our point. Refrain from doing that. If there's a point you want to make really badly, take your pen and paper and make a quick note that you can follow up with when they're done talking. When they finish talking, stay paused. Give them 2 or 3 seconds because a lot of times they'll think of something else and continue talking. So wait until they have fully stopped their thought and stopped talking and then respond with the questions that you wrote down and elaborate on what those points were, and they'll probably even talk more based on that. Tip number 4. Pause between key points in the sales process. Give them an opportunity to interject and make their key point that they want to make or ask the question that they might have. Throughout your overall sales pitch and conversation when you're speaking, give great pause points for the prospect to speak and be a part of the conversation. Tip number 5, think about open-ended questions that might create a story from the prospect that they can share, right? One of the best ways to do this is, have you ever? So starting a statement with or a question with, have you ever? And then fill in the blanks. This will create an opportunity for the prospect to potentially tell a story. So for example, have you ever skied in Vail? Hopefully they have. If they have, they can share a story. If they haven't, you can say, oh yeah, well, and then you can share a story and then you can say something like, have you ever skied? Where have you been, right? Get stories being told. The more stories that are being told in the conversation, the more connections we make. So think about before your sales conversations, what stories can you tee up to stir up a story from the prospect during the sales process? Think about it in advance and have those story-based questions ready to go so that you can ask those stories and get the stories being shared. Tip 6, last tip, get the prospect laughing during the sales process. A prospect that's laughing is a prospect that's talking. Think about how you can integrate humor into your sales pitch and into your sales conversations. The more that they're laughing, the more they like you, and ultimately prospects buy your product and service, not because of the value of your product and service as much as how much they like you as the salesperson. So that's it. Hopefully these 6 tips will help you get the prospect talking more and the success of your organization and your company so you can help your small business grow and your local community grow. Hopefully this video was helpful. If you like it, share it with a friend that might need some of these tips to increase their performance, and leave some comments if you have some other ideas on how to get the prospect talking. We'd love to see it. Happy marketing and have a great week.